Isabelle, you are out for a drink with some of your friends. It has been a hectic first week at the Folly. And, well, it's been an interesting time. So you've gone out for a beer with a few of your workmates. PC Patel, who we've already met. John Beccatelli, also PC. And then DC Jacqueline Jardine, JJ. You are sitting in a pub which you really like called the Boundary Bar. It sits on the line between Leith and Edinburgh. Infamous for the fact that back in the old days, the Leith half used to be able to stay open for half an hour longer. What are you drinking?
I mean, I feel duty-bound to say iron brew, but that's terribly stereotypical. It'll have to be a gin and tonic.
A gin and tonic? That is very Borders of you. They make a really good Edinburgh gin, actually.
They do.
Now, are you a Fever Tree sort of gin girl, or do you prefer just getting the boring old stuff?
Oh, no, she's a bit of a gin snob. So she'll definitely be heading for something like the Tanqueray number 10 with a decent Fever Tree tonic.
So, yeah, Patel doesn't drink, obviously. John has a pint of IPA. And JJ, she's got a lager, Tenants. Very classic girl. And they cannot stop asking you questions. Like, it's the only interesting thing to happen for a while. They cannot stop peppering you with questions about Rhodri, about the magic, about the car chase, about all of it. What are you telling them?
Well, you know, the ECI Cadwallader wasn't quite what I was expecting. I mean, someone says there's a senior officer coming up from London. You expect an Englishman. And he's not. He seems to drink an awful lot of caffeine, mind.
So he's from Wales somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, I guess.
I mean, it makes it fun translating between him and the Pixies in the house.
Hold on, Pixies?
Oh, yeah, we have sitting tenants.
What, like literal pixies?
Yeah.
Do they like live in mushrooms or?
I think they live in the walls.
Right. I think I read a book like that once.
Quite possibly.
And Patel sort of is leaning in now. So can you actually do magic?
Yes?
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is, actually.
What can you do? Can you do something?
Possibly best I don't do it in here. It doesn't go well with technology.
Oh, come on.
Look, if we go outside and everybody turns their phones off and we're standing away from anything I'm likely to fry, okay, I'll do something. You're not going to be that impressed, to be quite honest. I don't know any of the flashy stuff. My grandma taught me all of this. And, you know, farming stock, it's kind of practical stuff. It's not whiz-bang flashy kind of. But best not do it in here. I don't want anybody's phones or, you know, if we set the slots off, there's going to be a riot.
So I've had a couple of beers, so I'm going to give you this convince roll with a penalty die.
My social's not bad, actually. Let's see how this goes. The blue dice are back out of the dice jail, so let's see if they've learnt their lesson.
Did you burn the sage?
I didn't burn the sage.
Ah, okay.
My husband burnt the tea, so I'm assuming we're good. And we are good because that's a 25, which is a hard success.
Very nice. All right. So yeah, you are gathered outside a little bit further away from the Boundary Bar than maybe strictly necessary. You feel confident, unless you do something really dumb, everything's going to be fine. And what spell do you cast for them?
Well, do I do Snapdragon, which is kind of like flashbang kind of thing, which Grandma used to use for scaring the birds away? Or do I go for Terror, which kind of just makes a lump of mud appear in my hand? Let's go for Snapdragon.
Nice. Patel leans in really close, trying to watch your hands as it goes on. She's really excited.
Oh, yeah, no. That was 84 over 60. The white dice are going in the jail in a moment.
It's the wrong way round. Instead of a little one, it's just a horrendous noise as a huge snapdragon goes off. And all of the lights on the whole street suddenly go down. Give me another magic roll for a second.
Come on, white dice. Don't betray me. Oh, God. Yeah, these are going in the jail. That's a 94.
Don't worry, that wasn't considered a push roll. What's happened is it was just way bigger than you could expect. And as the whole street just loses its light, there's a laughter. You link arms with the other officers, you look around, you're a bit drunk, and the sense of everything around you just pulls and mushes together, and the memories are just getting all fuzzy and weird, and you laugh as you run off down the street to find a bar which still has its lights on. Rhodri, Cadwallader, you're at afternoon tea with a penguin, a fox, and a seal.
This seems very normal.
This is not going great because you can only understand the fox, but the fox appears to understand the penguin and the seal, and the fox doesn't necessarily speak English to you unless they have to. But it's very British. It's very good quality cutlery. The tea is charming. The scones are lovely. And you are staring out over the Firth of Forth from the west end of Edinburgh. How did you end up here?
Well, if it's the fox that I can speak to, and the fox can speak to the penguin and the seal,
Yeah.
I feel like perhaps I was looking for, I suppose you'd say, without it being in a lewd sense, some alternative company rather than going to the pub with the other police. And I made the significant mistake of trying to ask one of the nicer pixies in the house. Didn't really understand them. I thought they meant that I was meeting someone who was nicknamed the Penguin.
No, the penguin's name is Union.
Right, yes, but I thought I was meeting someone who was nicknamed the Penguin at Union Street, if there was such a street, because I don't know the area. So I just tried to understand what the pixie was saying, but between the two of us, we couldn't really get there. But I was told that Fox would introduce me. And again, I just naturally assumed Fox might be a humanoid.
No. The fox is very friendly, though. Seems to consider you an extension of the folly, which it generally approves of. Although it does want treats. And so you have been feeding it all of the biscuits that you had in your pocket. And you are getting low.
Right, well, Fox, you like another biscuit now, would you? I've only got a couple left now, and I think you've been enjoying them so much. And would you mind asking Penguin just to top up my drink, would you?
Penguin gives you such a look. Then nods to Seal, who goes and picks up the teapot and pours it expertly for you.
Very good, thank you.
Welcome to Rivers of London. It is a pleasure to bring you back for episode 2, which we are entitling Ghost Trains. Rhodri and Isabelle have recovered from all of their wounds from the last session, and they are back fighting and fit, ready to go for their next case. At the start of every case file, we roll luck. So what we do is we just roll 2d10.
2 and a 10.
Excellent.
Well, I've got 8. Now, if I remember right, we roll it and add it to 50, don't we, and see if we beat our existing luck score. Because I only tend to run convention games, I forget to do this bit. At the start of each new case file, each player rolls 2d10 plus 50 and compares it to their investigator's current luck value. If the result is less than or equal to their investigator's current luck value, the luck remains unchanged. If the result exceeds their investigator's current luck, their luck is raised to be equal to the higher value. So, my current luck was 44 after the end of the last scenario. I've rolled an 8, I add 50, 58. That's higher, which means my luck goes up.
So I rolled 12, which is 62, which is higher than what I had as 57. Huzzah!
So around the table this evening, we have T.A. Newman, we have Lynne Hardy, hopefully you are familiar with them both, and we have a very special guest with us, the Playhouse's own Stu Sellens.
Good evening, everyone.
Stu, would you like to tell us a little bit about the character you'll be playing?
So, tonight I'm playing Police Constable Lennox Gyle of the British Transport Police, stationed here in Edinburgh. They're a fairly well-built, stocky individual, possibly balding a little on top, but always with a bit of a jovial smile, even when the beat does lend them to stay outside in the rain and, well, you know what it's like on the beat. Uniformed police officer, can I escape it, can you?
Yeah, and you have the unenviable position of being in charge of the old railway lines around Edinburgh. So these are the decommissioned lines. most of which are being transformed into psychopaths or have been transformed. And the job's gotten extra complex lately as a result of the new tram lines that have been being laid. And you're sort of in a mixed administrative and on the ground role where you sort of have a huge amount of responsibility, very little support, and very little budget.
Sounds about right.
So when a deceased woman turned up on one of your lines, who appears to have been frightened to death, you called in the regular police. You got put in touch with Sergeant Nogach, who investigates this sort of thing. And she, of course, assigned her team to it, but her team came back saying it was weird and recommended you go and talk to the Manse, which you don't really know much about, other than you have to go down to Ninian's Manse, which is down in Leith, and talk to them, and it's something to do with magic.
Sounds a bit odd to me, but ours is not to reason why. So head down to the Manse, methinks.
Yeah, so Ninian's Manse is this old building just off the edge of the Waterfleet, which is pretty near one of your psychopaths, actually, so you know it at least vaguely well. And you, I think, probably have done a little bit of research on it because it's a very, very old building, and your understanding was that no one was doing anything with it because it was falling to bits. But here we have special circumstances working out of it. Apparently it's now a police station. The big, old, ancient oaken door stands closed in front of you, Lennox. What do you do?
Lennox is going to have a quick survey around the outside of the door. Is there anything that particularly suggests that these people have, if they're magical or whatever it is, this weird stuff they deal with? Is there a camera? Is there a little ring camera? Or is there a doorbell or a...
I like that. Give me the observation roll.
That is a 33 under 60, which is not quite a hard success.
There is no technology near the building at all.
That's a little odd. Oh, in that case, knock on the door, and my police training comes in, so once knocking on the door, take a step to the side. I think too many times has PC Gyle visited somewhere only to be maybe attacked with a chair or somebody running out them with a knife. If you step to the side, if somebody runs out of the door, you're ready there to intercede without getting in the way.
I have heard that there's a lot of violence amongst the British Transport Police. Okay, Rhodri, shall we say that you answer the door?
Is there a little eye hole on the door?
Yeah, go on.
So I'm going to look through the eye hole, and no one's there. So I think PC Lennox Gyle is going to hear me saying, "Right, that's it. If this is you bloody pixies buggering about again, I'll have you by the scruff of your bloody neck, I will."
Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for Detective Sergeant Cadwallader.
I don't play silly buggers with me, you little pixie buggers. Where are you?
Lennox sticks their head just in front of the people.
Oh, hello. Right, I'm just getting the bolt now. Hang on a second. And I'll clank the bolt down, open the door.
Now give me a dexterity roll, Rhodri.
Better not be those pixies. Oh dear, that's a 59 over 50. That's a fail.
As you step to open the door, you realise some wee mischievous bugger has tied your shoelaces together and you go toppling into Lennox. Lennox, give me either a dodge or a grapple, depending on how you respond to this assault.
Now, Lennox's childhood was a mixed one, and their mother insisted on ballet lessons from a fairly young age, so Lennox is rather dexterous, so I think a dodge is a good shout here.
Cultured.
Where is dodge on the character sheet? Sorry.
Oh, it's just dex.
Just dex. Oh, it's athletics. It depends on which one is your best.
Ah, yeah, sorry, it's athletics or dex. Oh, absolutely dex, 80. That is an 11 under 80, which is a nice, comfortable success.
So you manage to step out of the way as Rhodri comes slamming into the ground. Take 1 damage, Rhodri.
Oh! Would you like me to give you a hand up there, sir? I can help you if you like. It looks like you took quite a tumble there, sir, and here, Lennox hands a hand.
Oh, that's very good of you. Thank you, my man. And I'll reach up and slowly, very ungracefully, stumble my way up to standing.
I'm looking for... it is DS, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Detective Sergeant.
I'm looking for DS Cadwallader of the magic police.
Ah, ha ha ha. if you found him. I'm Detective Sergeant Cadwallader, of the,
Special circumstances.
special circumstances. We don't really call it the magical police, no. It seems a bit silly, doesn't it? Sound like a bit of a fool going around saying you're the magical police, wouldn't you?
I mean, I'm not one to disagree here with you, sir. I've been sent here by DCI Nogash for... I've got a bit of an odd one, which I think might be up your street.
Oh, right, well, I just finished untying my laces now, and then we'll go and sit down and get ourselves a little drink. DC Wood? Isabella? You here?
Yes, sir.
I wonder whether you might have had a bit too much of a drink if your laces are tied there, sir. No offence meant, of course.
Oh, no, I'm on duty. I don't really drink when I'm on duty. No, it was the bloody pixies, you know, tying my shoelaces together.
The pixies tied your shoelaces together.
That's right, I'm glad you understand. It's not many people that get it straight away. I'm impressed.
Is there somebody else here that I can talk to?
At that point, Isabelle comes through into the hallway.
I'm not needed, am I? Just
Hello, I'm Detective Constable Isabelle Wood, and you are?
Constable Lennox Gyle of the British Transport Police. I've been sent here by DCI Nogash with a bit of an odd case. Do you mind if I come in and I'll tell you all about it?
Of course. Come through. We'll have a cup of tea.
Oh, a cup of tea sounds lovely, thank you.
Sir, have the pixies been playing with your shoelaces again?
I know, right? Bloody little buggers they are. I'm like slowly shuffling now to keep up with them.
Well, maybe you should be nicer to them.
Well, I'm trying to be nicer to them, but they can't understand what they're bloody saying. I swear they're laughing at me, you know? I hear them making sheep noises.
Isabelle is desperately trying not to laugh at that, and she might have to start coughing because she's heard them making sheep noises too.
Lennox is just looking confused. Is this the state of the modern police?
I'm just like shuffling along.
Lennox, it's a very odd experience walking through the Manse because on the one hand, it is a gorgeous ancient building with this vaulted ceiling, genuine like old oak, refurbished, beautiful trestles and everything is just gorgeous. And then you walk into the kitchen and it's a complete mess of IKEA furniture with a chair that's probably from the 16th century beside another thing bought from a charity shop. It's a complete mishmash, making almost no sense whatsoever. And you sit down and the coffee's on and it feels like a copper's mess, but also it feels a little bit like a broke laird's castle. It's such an odd vibe. And you sit down, and as you try and get a sugar lump out from the little thing in the middle of the table, you realise it's empty.
At which point Isabelle is going to go, guys, come on, you promised.
Didn't he promise anything, you hag?
Watch it, you lot. I'll just put polo mints out for you next time.
All right, we're keeping all but 3.
All right, that's fine. Just remember, next time you steal all the sugar, polo mints.
What? Oh!
And my bloody shoelaces?
Meh. Lennox, this is coming from the ceiling, you guess?
Does Lennox see anything?
No. But yeah, there's now 3 sugar lumps back in the jar.
I think Lennox has decided that maybe tea without sugar is the best course of action today. Yeah, don't particularly want to touch that sugar. I think changing the subject is the best plan.
There's a little bit print in one of the sugar lumps.
Just a quick swig of the tea and... So you're doing this place up then, I see. I thought this place was abandoned. How long have you been here?
Oh, we've been here a while now, haven't we, Isabella?
I think it just feels a lot longer than it is, sir.
It's been a little over a week.
Right, yes, well, we feel like we're nearly there, aren't we? With the furniture and that. Make it feel right at home, eh?
Whatever you say, sir.
Are you really the magic police?
Like I said, we don't really go around calling ourselves the magic police, you know. I mean, yes, we are.
What would you prefer, the 40 and fuzz?
Well, no, well...
Oh, nice, I like that one.
Stu's been sitting on that for a while.
This is where we get the book crack and the lists that comes out. What did we say? Special investigations?
Special circumstances.
Special circumstances.
Special circumstances. We prefer to go by special circumstances, you know. And if we come across an incident that I think might be similar to what you're about to tell us, oftentimes it's referred to as a falcon case.
Falcon, okay. That's your code.
Right, but not magic police.
Not magic police.
No.
Although I may have to start using 40 and fuzz, though.
But we'll stick with special circumstances, won't we?
Special circumstances, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
So, we've got a cadaver.
I'll grab my notebook immediately, crack it open, pulling out a really fancy fountain pen and begin scribbling notes.
We thought it was just a standard one-under case, but it's on an abandoned piece of railway track that's not had any rolling stock in it for a while. But the odd thing is there's no obvious cause for the death. It's almost as if this lady's died of fright.
So, a little more for you all. She's been identified as Sandra Logan. She was discovered in the early hours on Friday morning, and it is Friday afternoon now. And you also have notes here, Lennox, that she apparently is fairly wealthy.
So it's an odd thing that she'd be alone on this disused piece of track. Well, where actually is the track, just so I'm aware?
The track is part of the cycle path. This specific piece connects two different bits of North Edinburgh together and used to run east to west in and around the north of Edinburgh, but in effect leads to a broader network that connects Waverley, which is the main central station, to Leith and Portobello, which are the two towns that are on the coast that are actually part of Edinburgh. They are disused and aren't in use anymore. This piece has never been handed over, so it's still technically British Transport Police land.
And given that I am obviously a resident of Edinburgh, would I know whether this area is a particularly affluent area of Edinburgh?
So the area of track in particular, you've been trying to close off for a while, but the local dog walkers, joggers, and just general families use it nonetheless. Every time you block it off, they pull it apart just because it's a convenient connection between two large parks. The area is affluent enough that her presence there is not considered weird in of itself.
Gotcha. I relay all of this to the two police officers in front of me.
Right.
There have been no other incidents in that area at all? Anything out of the ordinary?
We've had some problem. Well, the owners of the land have had some problem actually trying to pass it on. You see, the council's been taking over a lot of these old railway lines, taking them out of our jurisdiction and turning them into cycling paths, into walking tracks as well. But we can't seem to shift this particular piece of track. I don't know why. I mean, I've been looking through some of the paperwork and the history of the thing, but it just seems to be a very bog standard railway track to me.
Right.
We should probably go down there and give it a look, sir.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's a bloody good idea.
We've had the forensics teams down there already, so given the time, there'll probably be a few of us probably walking around seeing what else is there.
Lennox, may I ask... Oh, sorry, do you mind me calling you Lennox? Is that all right?
No, not at all there, sir.
Right then. Lennox, when you say that Sandra Logan died of fright, right? Do you mean like she was frozen, like screaming, or do you mean like wide-eyed in shock, or was... I don't know, was the body twisted in a way? Was she frozen? Was she running? Was she lying on the tracks? What do you mean when you say died of fright?
Lennox, you haven't actually been there, so you don't know.
I'm afraid, sir, I'm not sure. But I imagine by now the report should probably be on Holmes. But it wouldn't be because we don't have Holmes here because we're Police of Scotland.
Well, don't rub it in now, Lennox. All right, we're trying our best, all right?
We're not under Home Office, we're under the
I don't know what it's called.
the Scottish Police Authority.
It's called Watson up here.
You know what? It may very well be. Why not? World building.
Say that, Lynne. Dagger to the heart.
That's the Welsh one.
It's probably called Braveheart or something.
We call it Poirot up here. Right, well, Isabelle, I have an idea. I think we better get down there and have a look around.
Yes, sir.
For reference, I believe we should call the online system Taggart from now on.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yes, there we go. There we go. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, I don't care whether it is or not. It definitely is now.
Yeah, without taking too much of a side angle, would we have replicated some kind of miniature form of what Peter has at the Folly in terms of the electric switch off kind of containment area so that we can have Taggart up and running, but we can switch things down if magical shenanigans happen?
I definitely think that you expected that to be set up. I definitely think that when it wasn't set up, you may have had some words with Isabelle, and I think Isabelle has been trying to get that set up. I'm going to say that it isn't set up, but that it might be set up by the end of the episode, depending on what you prioritize.
Okay.
I mean, if you're wanting to, I'm sure we could take you down to the head of D Division, which is our station.
Which is in Waverley.
Just behind Waverley Station.
I think that sounds like an idea. I'm driving.
Actually, we do need to deal with this. What are you driving? Last time we were considering a Golf.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? Was that the police car? I feel at this point, maybe Rhodri's just started using his own car. Maybe a special dispensation. The great thing about his car is that it requires very minimal electricity in regard to how it's run. It's not very modern at all. We're talking about a super old school VW Beetle.
Can I have the Union Jack on top?
Yes, absolutely. No, the Welsh Dragon.
Yeah, even better.
The Welsh Dragon.
I was going to say, it's going to have to be red with a dragon on the top, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Red VW Beetle with the dragon, yeah.
It passes Leithers and they go to throw the bottle at it, and then they just stare in confusion at a dragon driving through their town. And you arrive and you move in through one of these parks, and it's a dog walking park, effectively. There's a children's playground in one corner, but it's one of these big open green areas that's clearly for locals to use. There's a bridge that crosses the water of Leith, and you get onto the bridge, and this is where this old track is, heading east to west.
Before we go any further, I'm just going to chuck a 5-pence piece into the water and just basically go, afternoon.
Do I spot this?
Probably if I copy Isabelle and do the same thing. I'll do it almost like in a forgetful manner, and then when I see Isabelle do it, go, oh, right, shit, okay.
Yes, Lennox, you see both of them chuck shrapnel of some kind into the water.
I'm adding this to my mental list of why I think these people are quite odd. I've already, I think in my notebook, scribbled Knack Mac Feagle in-house, ? And now it's, yeah, Lennox is, I think, just along for the ride at this stage.
You make your way onto these old tracks, and it's overgrown to hell. There's a big gate up either side, but the fence itself has basically, one of the iron grates has been torn or possibly crowbarred off, creating a small gap you can step through. Police tape guards a small area about 100 metres down this line, and there is a couple of police officers, including, of course, PC Patel, standing there in the late afternoon sunlight on this slightly windy day. As the wind hits you, she smells fresh. She smells like she's just come on shift. And she's got a big smile on her face. She's like, hi guys, how you doing? Isabelle, I'm just giving you that bit of notice because you feel a little bit like shit because the two of you got very drunk last night. But of course...
She doesn't drink. She's cheating.
Do we walk up to the other police officers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before any walking is done, Lennox is going to stop you and say, now, this is still technically track, even though it's been decommissioned. And by the regulations, you do need to be accompanied by somebody who has training in personal track safety. So please do stick by any British transport officer or engineer. I shall accompany you while you're there, sir.
You get a lot of eye from Patel. Like a lot of, yep, he's done this already, and we've had this already.
Right. So can I just double check now? This track is decommissioned, so it's not live or nothing?
Why would it be live, sir?
Well, that's I'm just checking.
These tracks were never electrified in the first place.
Right.
So there's no third rail here. There's all diesel trains, diesel freight.
What's the kind of training that you get then to be around these kind of tracks? Is it about like stepping over them and things?
It's the standard track. If you want to be working on a track, sir, and a train's coming your way and you don't know what to do, you're flat, you're a one under. That's not what you're wanting here, sir. Now, it's a frustrating thing, but the problem is that the legislation does not differentiate between decommissioned track and non-decommissioned track. If there are rails and there are sleepers, you have to obey our rules. You're on my turf now, sir. We're bringing you in as extras, but this is my jurisdiction.
Well, absolutely, Sheriff. Jeez, don't go losing your badge there.
You're lucky that we managed to get your MIT lot in here. The British Transport's own MIT murder investigation team were quite keen to pass this one on, admittedly, but
Right. Well, thank you very much for inviting us onto your jurisdiction. Patel. I'll point over at the other group of police officers and just go, Patel, would you go and ask one of them gentlemen over there to go and get the coffees with you?
Sir, we've talked about this.
What? You told me not to ask Patel for the coffees.
You're not supposed to ask her to go get other people to get them either.
Oh, for God's sake. Between the two of you two, I'm pointing at Lennox and Isabelle, bloody rules coming out your ears.
Don't worry about it. There's actually a lovely coffee stand nearby, and I could just walk. This is boring as hell. So, cheers, guys. Patel heads off to get you coffee. There is the body of a woman in probably her early 40s. The grey hairs are there, but they're not dominant. And she is in pretty obvious jogging gear. It's Lululemon, all matching. She has a light jumper on. And she probably has a very, very expensive tan. Except that's quite hard to tell right now because it looks almost as if all of the blood has drained from her body. Like it's just completely gone from her face. She's totally white. It is a very weird experience. Give me Sense Vestigia, all three of you. As you come into contact with this body, you don't even have to do the IVA because it's very intense, this experience.
That's a 52 over 30. Lennox is not attuned particularly to sensing vestigia. They don't even know it's a thing they can do.
Right, well, that was a rubbish roll. I got 69 out of 60, so I'm going to spend 9 points of luck to make that an actual success because I cannot embarrass myself in front of PC Gyle. He already thinks we're idiots.
I rolled a 16 under 60.
So it's a hard success.
It is indeed. Because I'm the magic police, yo.
We'll stick with the 40 and fuzz. I like that one.
Isabelle, the smell of oil is probably the strongest aspect of this vestigia. There's also a piercing cry and a feeling of stepping forward, of progressing, of something new, of the future, of being bright, of revolution. It's this positive feeling of the future, this progress. And it's not attached to the body so much as it is still lingering around this entire part of the track. Rhodri, with that hard success, everything I've said comes to you. And in fact, you can feel it. A train going along this track, making its way faster and faster and faster and faster. But there's something else. Really, really faint. Just the lightest stroke of a pen.
Can I ask a question just on that sense of vestigia? With the train, did I get a sense of the era of train? Was it steam, that savage early locomotive? Was it more contemporary? I don't know when the train track was decommissioned. I might be asking too much.
You're getting... I think in your brain, the closest you have is Thomas the Tank Engine.
Surely he's Welsh. Ivor the engine, please.
Oh.
Sorry, Ivor the Engine.
And in fact, as I'm standing there, concentrating, probably looking the most professional I've looked this entire time, I'll take a second and eventually I'll just turn and look at Lennox and Isabelle and just go, Ivor the Engine. Ivor the Engine.
I think my gran used to watch that, sir.
Very good. PC Gyle, you're very much, you made the right choices coming to us, you did. Well done. Not everybody would make that step, but you've done the right thing here, getting us involved, and we're glad that we can assist you. I'll try and catch Isabelle's eye without PC Gyle looking, and I'm going to do my best, worst, best hand gesture of what I think a falcon looks like, just to confirm it's a falcon case. And it looks more like a butterfly, but if Lennox is kind of half looking, I'll just go, thank you very much for getting us involved in this. And then as the kind of catch Isabelle's eye, I'll say, Ivor the Engine. Flapping my hands. Ivor the Engine.
Yes, sir. Ivor the engine. I'm going to give PC Kyle this sort of pleading look. Save me.
Lennox will spot that look, as long as the game moderator is happy for Lennox to spot that look, and maybe suggest Well, why don't we leave your superior to have a little look at this? Constable to constable, there are a couple of other things I thought might be of interest. Detective Constable, if you'd like to join me.
Oh, excellent. Yes, that sounds like a superb idea, PC Gyle. Are you going to be all right here, sir?
Aye for the engine. I'll just be kind of leaning into a bit more of a non-vestigia observation investigation of the body, perhaps, in the surrounding area, if Lennox and Isabelle are going to go and solve the case. I'll wait for my coffee and look at the body.
I'm going to give you something. So, Newman.
Yes.
I think one could argue that that is simply an observation roll. However, I would like to test out a mechanic of the game, which is the expert skills. Specifically, there is an expert skill of forensics, which would give you more details here, which you don't have. However, you could try your luck to see if maybe you know a little bit about forensics.
Is that just a luck roll? If I succeed on luck, that I might know something about forensics?
Lynne is shaking her head. You have to make a hard roll.
Okay.
Against...
Science forensics is probably intelligence.
Hard roll against your intelligence.
Okay, so I need to get 32 or below. Oh, 51.
So, you've spent a little luck in an attempt to do that. Spent 10 luck.
Is that my luck or somebody else's?
Your luck. I'm stealing luck from you.
You're not allowed to spend other people's luck.
That's actually in the rulebook as well, isn't it? Written down.
It is, yeah, we had to put that in. Yeah. You're not allowed to spend luck on somebody else's roll.
I can't flip through my book and do what you guys are doing. I'm so glued to where the spells are, just in case I need to use one. I've got them all pinned out right in front of me. I don't want to lose my page on the spells.
This is why I use Adobe Acrobat. Just PDF.
Yeah.
But the book is so pretty, Lynne.
It is very pretty.
It is. I have my spare leatherette copy here.
Oh, nice.
So are you spending the luck to get your hard int roll there?
Well, 51, I'd need 32. That's a lot of luck to spend.
Ooh.
Although we get new luck each time, don't we?
Do it.
In each case file, you may just want to let that one go.
A little voice in my head is telling me to let that one go. They're usually more of a tempter than a saviour, but this time I feel like they've got my best interests at heart.
The British Transport Police's forensic department is top-notch. I'm sure that they will be able to find out whatever you're looking for, so...
Yeah, it'll just take them a bit longer.
In fact, if there is a forensic person around, I'll just look for someone who's kind of wearing white or blue gloves or something, and then just kind of, oh, hello, yes, you're there.
The luck roll, please.
Oh, bugger. Right. 12. Under 52.
That would have been great a moment ago, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
You know what? It's a very shiny white coat. It's almost too shiny. I feel like the British Transport Police's forensic department does not get that many opportunities to shine.
Oh!
And so when they do, they are out in their fanciest white coat. And they have the best...
Lovely Tyvek noddy suits.
I have a friend of mine who works for Network Rail, and he once walked up to a member of the British Transport Police and asked, so are you real police?
Oh, yeah.
They are. They absolutely are a completely legitimate police force, and you are belittling all of them.
No, I'm saying the forensic department probably doesn't get many opportunities to go out and about. And when they do, they bring the best stuff.
We're advertising them.
No offense taken.
I will stop teasing people who are allowed to kill me if I go on their track lines. Yeah, so you have this forensic expert and they go through it. Give me an observation roll. No, give me a social roll to determine how much this very bright lady tells you.
Social roll. My expertise area. Okay, so 39 over 30. Do I spend luck on that?
You might want to.
Yeah, I kind of feel this is my second chance. Okay, I'll spend 9 points of luck to be sociable, which I think is probably what Rhodri has to do every time he's sociable.
Sure. I just done some of the work. So, yeah. A female, early 40s. Her heart definitely stopped. That much is obvious. And that's what's actually killed her. But yes, the blood being drained like that is very odd. There's probably a medical term for that I don't know.
Exsanguination, I think it's called.
Yeah, so all of the blood has left their skin, which often it can be caused by someone getting very, very cold. Or yeah, of course, if someone got really, really scared just before they died, it would have the same effect. It's hard to tell without a full autopsy anything more than that at this stage, but I would note from how she's dressed and where she is that she was probably on an early morning jog.
Right.
Time of death is recorded as 4:32 a.m.
Right. Has the family been notified?
Yes, she is. She pulls up her mobile phone and just taps a few buttons. She is divorced, so her contact was her dad. There's not a lot of family there, but she does have a house nearby, which we have officers at now.
Oh, right. I'd quite like that address, please. I'll ask one of them for that in a moment. Are you going to be performing the autopsy?
No.
Right. Do you have the name of the person who's going to be at the morgue?
Yes.
Excellent.
I haven't written the name of a pathologist down. Where are my spare names?
Jimmy Jimison.
Dr. Turner.
Because when he needs to check the other sides, you're Turner. Guys? Anyone? Stu's smiling, that's allowed.
No.
Oh.
No. But I'm wearing glasses, so I can't face palm.
I can.
Dr. Turner. Right, okay.
Just before you start, at this point, Patel comes back with the coffees, hands you your double espresso with extra coffee.
Oh, thank you very much.
A much more mild Americano for DC Wood, and of course, a very nice, very sweet cup of tea for PC Gyle.
Thank you. Just what was needed.
It's a summer's day, but it is quite windy, but you are standing sort of in a place where the wind can be heard through the trees, although it's not affecting you right now. So it's quite pleasant. So you have a few minutes to try and figure out your next move, what you're going to try and do, what your various options are. And if you want, you can consult Taggart for some hints and clues, if you so wish.
Right, so I'm going to have got my head together with Lennox and basically just asked a few questions about their research, if they can honestly think of any reasons why this place is proving so difficult to get rid of. And then we probably ought to go back and join his lordship because it looks like he's pestering the forensics team.
So Lennox has, as an advantage, the knowledge Scotland's railway networks.
Nice.
Lennox is the sort of person who probably in their spare time would have been trawling Wikipedia for the history of the area and probably would have done a bit of looking into the history of this, well, of all of the networks.
Yeah.
Bit of a train buff anyway. So would Lennox have any idea about the history of this particular stretch of railway?
So this is effectively the last bit of the railway to be decommissioned. And the reason that it wasn't decommissioned until really late is that there was an incinerator here that was knocked down just 5-6 years ago. And since it was the only way to get stuff in and out of the incinerator, this piece of track was in use once in a while. You know, barely once a week, but it was in use. Especially the Green Party of Edinburgh City Council had been banging on about getting access to this railway, getting the diesel engine out of North Edinburgh and turning it into a path for a long, long time. And you get near constant requests to approve it. When it was decommissioned, you hope to basically be able to sort it out, chuck it on, and get it done with. But it's just not happening. You don't have the permission to do it yourself. You just sign the paperwork, pass it on, and then that person takes it on. You've tried filling in the form to get this approved probably 3 or 4 times now. And for whatever reason, every single time you send the paperwork away, it gets lost or it gets rejected or there's a typo. There are, sticklers upon sticklers. There's people within various layers of the British Transport Police that still think they're running an empire. If you don't fill out a form properly, it does occasionally get batted away. But this one is just proving sticky. And it's annoying you, but it's not annoying you enough that it's causing problems. I think the reason, Lennox, that you're aware of it is that it's costing a little bit because every time you block it off, because obviously people can't access it, it's illegal to access it, someone else just breaks in again. And it's been being used pretty much constantly by dog walkers and joggers and all sorts, all the time. You've barely managed to keep it secure for 24 hours.
As a side question, have we set up any CCTV cameras around here? If there have been trespassers, surely this is the sort of thing we'd want to...
There's no electricity. This is an old non-electrified diesel line. The building was knocked down, and the entrance is in a park, so you would have to have run an external line in order to set up CCTV. So I assume that you have not.
That's very logical. That's fine. So again, I'll explain to DC Wood everything here.
I shall add one more. You've been trying to convince the local Police Scotland to give you a CCTV fan so you can do a bit more work. But they laughed you out of the room.
So I have another question here. Has there been any particular incidences of graffiti around this area? Any particular tags being thrown up?
Well, you actually need to do your research because you need to figure out what other crimes have been occurring here. So that could become part of that.
Yep, that sounds like it.
Excellent. That's definitely something I want to look into. For an interesting reason that the British Transport Police hold a graffiti database of thousands upon thousands of individual tags linked to the actual graffiti artists.
Cool.
So if we find something interesting, we might be able to get a name of somebody who may have been around, especially if we find something particularly fresh. Maybe there's a potential witness.
Give me an observation roll.
I will do. That is a 10 under 60.
YLT, which I'm going to just hand to you as a local Lennox and Isabelle young Leith team. They have been a youth gang in the Leith area for the better part of 100 years, which is very impressive, as you can imagine. This symbol has been a pretty much constant aspect of North Edinburgh your entire lives. You grew up knowing that the YLT were a bunch of idiot boys in Leith. You grew up and there's still a bunch of idiot boys in Leith. Somehow they're still teenagers. It doesn't quite make sense to you, but somehow it does. Isabelle, as you kind of wandered into the magical world, you additionally know that you should be wary of that symbol because of Leith.
So, DC Wood, do you mind if I call you Isabelle? It just makes it a bit easier.
Yes, of course. Do you mind if I call you Lennox?
Not at all, not at all. That's a pleasure. This young Leith team seem to have been around here fairly recently. And again, looking at the tag, does it look fairly fresh? Is it paint still slightly tacky?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I don't really want to be getting myself into the gang side of things, we might have a potential witness here. Maybe a casual conversation.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Is that your professional as magic police?
40 and fuzz, yes.
Okay. Look, I've been meaning to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Is this magic stuff real?
Yes.
I mean, how?
I don't honestly know, but it is. And there are powerful forces at work. And the YLT are associated with one of those powerful forces. And we met him last week. And he's got a mouth on him like a navvy. And, yeah, it would be nice not to have to tangle with him again so soon. I mean, if all else fails, it's something we've got to follow up. You might be right, but I'm hoping there's easier pathways for us to explore first, to be honest.
We can at least put it down as a potential lead for future.
I think we need to make a note of it, but I think we need to do other things first, because there will be consequences for going to talk to that lot.
Was that why you threw your silverware in the river when we went over?
Yes, just to be on the safe side.
Is this something I need to start doing?
Not yet. It depends on how long you hang around with us.
Okay. Starting to see why, yeah.
I'm thinking about that. Isabelle's going to make a little note to herself to have a chat to him about the glamour at some point today. Because she's guessing he's not been warned. And if anything to do with Leith is involved, he needs to know.
Lennox knows nothing about this world. This is a whole new area. So where do you train? Unseen University or something like that?
My nana taught me.
Oh, more of a sort of Granny Weatherwax, Nanny Og sort of character, I see.
I mean, never let her hear you say that, but kind of, yes. Whereas his nibs, I'm not 100% certain. I think he did get trained at the Folly.
Folly? Is that the school of...
That's the London branch.
Yes, I've heard rumours that there's been a sort of a London police force. In fact, I think they had to pause for a second. Are we okay to half reference things from the books, from Tales from the Folly?
Yes, I've got the license for Tales from the Folly, so you reference away.
I think there was a reference that Nightingale was up in Scotland doing something while Peter was doing something down south. At the Olympic Games, wasn't it? Yeah. Great train reading, I have to say. Short stories, just the right sort of length. We're going to jump back in. Come to think of it, I think you had one of them then up here during the Olympics dealing with something, some Nightingale or some such. The tales were told, but who knows?
I think that's his name.
On that lovely point, we will pull this episode to a close. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to bringing them all back to see you next week.
I mean, never let her hear you say that, but kind of, yes. Where is his nibs? I'm not 100% certain. I think he did get trained at the Folly.
Folly? Is that the school of?
That's the London branch.
Oh, yes, I've heard rumours that there's been a sort of a London police force. In fact, I think they had to pause for a second. Are we okay to half reference things from the books, from Tales from the Folly?
We should be, as long as it's the one. Yes, I've got the license for Tales from the Folly, so you reference away.
I think there was a reference that Nightingale was up in Scotland doing something while Peter was doing something down south. At the Olympic Games, wasn't it? Yeah. So, thank you, Steve. We're going to... I think great train reading, I have to say. Short stories, just the right sort of length. Thank you, Steve. We're going to jump back in. Now, come to think of it, I think you had one of them then up here during the Olympics dealing with something, some Nightingale or some such. The tales were told, but who knows?
I think that's his name.
On that lovely point, we will pull this episode to a close. Thank you for joining us for the first installment of Ghost Trains. Looking forward to bringing them all back to see you next week.